Scelidosaurus, the armored pioneer of the dinosaur world. Around 191 to 183 million years ago, during the dawn of the early Jurassic, Earth was a world completely unlike today. Vast fern forests stretched endlessly, ancient conifer groves loomed high, and a warm, humid climate created a lush paradise teeming with life. It was an age when herbivorous dinosaurs began to diversify, while predators slowly carved out their place at the top of the food chain. And in this primeval stage, one remarkable creature emerged, small compared to giants that would follow, but carrying within it a blueprint of survival that would shape millions of years of evolution. This was Scelidosaurus, the primitive armored dinosaur, the very first living tank, and the cornerstone of a dynasty that would later include the mighty Stegosaurs and Ankylosaurs. Name and historical significance. The name Scelidosaurus comes from the Greek meaning limb lizard. First discovered along the cliffs of Dorset, England, this dinosaur quickly became one of the most important fossils in paleontology. Why? Because it is considered the earliest fully known armored dinosaur, with remarkably complete fossils that allowed scientists to reconstruct not just its bones, but also its lifestyle and evolutionary position. Paleontologists now regard Scelidosaurus as a missing link, the transitional form that bridged primitive plant-eating dinosaurs with the heavily armored juggernauts of later ages. Without Scelidosaurus, we might never have understood how the evolutionary path gave rise to icons like Stegosaurus and Ankylosaurus. Appearance: nature's first armor. Scelidosaurus measured about 4 meters 13 feet in length and weighed between 250 to 300 kilograms, 550 to 660 pounds. Low to the ground, stocky, and solidly built, it was no giant, yet its body held one of nature's earliest experiments in defense: rows of bony plates, osteoderms, embedded along its back and flanks. These plates were not as large or complex as the fortress-like armor of Ankylosaurus, but for its time, nearly 190 million years ago, they were revolutionary. Predators would think twice before biting into a creature shielded by bone. Its head was small, with a narrow snout lined with leaf-shaped teeth, perfect for clipping soft vegetation, ferns, and tender shoots. Its tail was long and balanced, its forelimbs shorter than its hind limbs, giving it a slightly elevated stance in the rear, an adaptation suggesting it could break into a short sprint when danger threatened. Eyes placed on the sides of its skull gave it a wide field of vision, perfect for spotting predators before it was too late. Altogether, Scelidosaurus was not built for attack, but for endurance and survival. Habitat. A green Jurassic world, Scelidosaurus roamed the landscapes that today are England and Ireland. Back then, however, these islands were not cold and windswept, but lush coastal regions with the warm, humid climate. The terrain was a mosaic of fern plains, conifer groves, cycads, and horsetail thickets, with rivers and floodplains weaving through them. Here, Scelidosaurus grazed quietly in small herds, surrounded by a vibrant ecosystem of crocodile-like reptiles, ancient lizards, giant insects, and fellow dinosaurs. But it was not alone. Predators prowled these lands too. Dinosaurs like Dilophosaurus, with its slender build and powerful jaws, or early theropods like Coelophysis would have posed serious threats. In this dangerous world, Scelidosaurus was neither the fastest nor the strongest, but it had something new: armor. Behavior: survival through defense. Unlike fearsome predators, Scelidosaurus had no claws or fangs to strike back with. Instead, its entire strategy revolved around defense and endurance. When threatened, Scelidosaurus may have crouched low to the ground, presenting its armored back to the enemy. A predator's jaws would meet bone rather than flesh. Small or medium-sized hunters would find attacking it more trouble than it was worth. Some scientists suggest Scelidosaurus lived in small herds, providing group protection. One individual might spot danger, alerting the others, giving them time to retreat into cover or hunker down defensively. Its diet was peaceful: low-growing vegetation, leaves, ferns, and soft plants. Its teeth were designed for grinding and shredding rather than slicing. Day by day, Scelidosaurus contributed to its ecosystem as a modest but vital grazer of the Jurassic Plains. Mysteries and fascinating facts. 1. Britain's first armored dinosaur. The Dorset fossils of Scelidosaurus are among the most complete Jurassic dinosaur remains found in Europe. These remains allowed paleontologists to see details of its armor and anatomy rarely preserved in dinosaurs so ancient. Number 2. Ancestor of giants. Modern research suggests Scelidosaurus may be the common ancestor of both Stegosauria, the plated, spiked dinosaurs like Stegosaurus, and Ankylosauria, the tank-like armored dinosaurs like Ankylosaurus. In other words, the entire dynasty of armored dinosaurs traces its roots back to this modest 4-meter creature. Number 3. Gentle but resilient. Despite lacking offensive weapons, Scelidosaurus thrived through adaptation. Its body design emphasized survival, small size, defensive armor, wide vision, and possibly herd behavior. 4. Extinction with a legacy. Scelidosaurus eventually disappeared, likely due to climate shifts and competition from other plant eaters. Yet its evolutionary blueprint lived on, perfected in later armored behemoths that survived until the very end of the Cretaceous. Conclusion: the silent pioneer. If Tyrannosaurus was the tyrant king and Brachiosaurus the towering gentle giant, then Scelidosaurus was the silent pioneer. It never ruled its world with size or ferocity, but instead introduced something far more enduring: biological armor, a survival strategy so successful it shaped tens of millions of years of dinosaur evolution. Looking back, Scelidosaurus stands not as a forgotten small herbivore, but as the prototype of resilience, the first draft of nature's armored warrior. Without it, perhaps the stegosaurs with their spiked tails and the ankylosaurs with their crushing clubs would never have existed. Scelidosaurus, a quiet survivor, a trailblazer in defense, and a living testament to the endless creativity of evolution.